AzureSpot Q offers several different options for background subtraction. If you're unsure what background subtraction method to use, hopefully this explanation and these tips can help you decide which option best suits your analysis. Local background subtraction uses the average pixel intensity along the border of each shape to determine the background signal. So for each of these shapes, the background is being determined by the pixel intensities along the line of each shape. This background subtraction method is great for features or regions of interest that are spaced apart in such a way that you're able to draw your shapes without the shape itself running into other areas of intensity. For example, if I take this shape here, shape number 7, you can see the background of that shape appears relatively high because that shape kind of runs over some areas of intensity. Whereas in that same channel, shape number 12 has a much lower background because you can see that shape along the edges is much more cleanly placed within the background. If you are working with an image where the bands are close together or they tend to blur or run, local average background subtraction may not be the best fit for your image type. Control area uses a designated shape as the background for the entire image. When you select control area, the cursor will change into a yellow arrow that allows you to select a shape that will serve as your background control area. If you did not draw a shape that will serve as your control area before entering background subtraction, you can go back to defining your regions of interest and draw a shape that can serve as your background control. And then from there, return to background subtraction and restart the background subtraction workflow. So from here, I can select control area. My cursor will again change to the yellow arrow, and I can select that new area that I just drew. With control area, I am also able to select multiple regions of interest that can serve as control areas for different areas of my image. So for example, in this image, if I had been analyzing the left blot separately from my right blot, I can draw a control area within each blot to serve as the background for that slot. For this example, I am going to have one control area for the top part of my image and one control area for the bottom part of my image. To do this, I right-click to stop adding control areas, and now these two areas are designated as control areas. And now I'm going to click and drag to highlight these top bands and link them together with that background, and then click and drag for these bottom bands and link them together with that lower background. So you can see if I had done this for the right blot instead of a top and bottom, I could easily draw a designated control area for this right blot and link any areas of interest to that one control area. When you do have multiple control areas, the table will show which control area is used for which band. And you can see here, shape number 13 was missed by my clicking and dragging, and so it shows that it does not have a designated control area. Another option for background subtraction is surface minimum. Surface minimum uses the lowest pixel values within each shape to determine the background signal. The difference between this and local average is that local takes the pixel intensities along the edge of the shape, while surface minimum takes the lowest intensity values within the shape, regardless of where they are located within the shape. So this background subtraction method is great for when you're making tight shapes or boxes around your intensity areas, because it will use the lowest values within that shape, regardless of if your shape runs into other areas of intensity. Constant value background subtraction allows you to enter a pixel value that will be used as the average background pixel intensity for your image. So in this case, if I enter an arbitrary value of, say, 100, Now 100 is used as the average pixel intensity for the background. That value is multiplied by the area of each shape to determine the amount of background subtracted from each shape. This option is great if you are running multiple images and for maybe quality control purposes would like the exact same background subtracted from each image. I hope this further explains the different background subtraction options within AzureSpot Q, how to use them, and when to use them.